before we get on to other wild moments, I feel like I have to introduce this thing that I learned the other day. So I went on this tangent about wolves and specifically in Yellowstone. So they reintroduced them in like, I don't know, late 1980s or something like that back into Yellowstone. And there's this phenomenon called the trophic cascade. And basically, what have either of you heard of this? Oh
No.
man, it's amazing. So, anyways, they like hunters and everything killed all the wolves in that general area. And I think this was like 1920s, 1940s. And, anyways, when they reintroduced the wolves, they were monitoring all these changes that were going on across the board. So, you introduce something at the top of the food chain, and these what reintroduce these things at the top of the food chain. And so there was all this erosion basically near the water streams or the rivers. And there was like beat down of a bunch of different plant life, different populations of animals were all jacked up. Wildflowers that hadn't been there for 60, 70 years started to come back. But basically, introducing the wolf did a series of things. One, the wolf started to hunt the elk and killing off more elk. Well, those elk, to avoid getting eaten and like protecting themselves, started going higher up in the mountains. And so when they would come down and just like hang out by the banks of these rivers, they were beating down all the plant life, causing more erosion and everything. And so they see like all these crazy things start to happen, and that like the rivers start to become healthier, new plants start to emerge, birds start to show up, bear population increases because they're like eating off the deer or the elk carcasses. So it's like this amazing ripple effect just by introducing one thing that I do think is germane to some of the stuff that we talked about with wilds in the woods. Like reintroducing something into the wild has healthier effects or health effects. But sorry, I get super geeked out about it, and it's really neat. Trophic Cascade, Yellowstone. It will blow your mind all the different impacts that it had by reintroducing one species.
That's very cool.
It's almost as if healthy men are introduced to society, it has a ripple effect on everything.
Comes full circle.
Bam.
That's-
We should end right there.
Thank you for listening to the Unrationed podcast. Oh,
That is a really awesome metaphor, analogy for what we're trying to do, man. That's awesome.